Hey guys, I hope you're okay. Apologies for being a few minutes late. I just wanted to kind of set up my laptop and make sure everything was all okay. But the Arsenal game has finished 1-1 with PSV. And before I do get started with it, I will just say hello to Phil, who has just joined. Arteta had nothing to lose by bringing on the kids. So disappointed he didn't. Yeah, I was expecting him. I did hope we would see more of the younger players, but you know what? That lineup for me, I thought it did surprise me in a way because we did use a lot of the players we've not seen for a while, like Alneny, Cedric, and of course Ramsdale got that start, which I'm really delighted for him. And I did think he made the most of his opportunity. I think he had a really good game, and obviously it's his debut in the Champions League, and I'm absolutely delighted for him to have that opportunity. So I think there are some positives to take. Obviously, we drew with them. It didn't really matter going into the game because we're already qualified. So for me, yeah, I think I just wanted to see a few players, maybe younger players, get a bit of an opportunity. But I'm going to sort of talk about the lineup first before I get into it. I will answer see this as well. The game started off with the atmosphere somewhere between a pre-season friendly and a Nations League dead rubber, but surprisingly improved. Um, Hello, NS Sports TV as well. Hope you're okay. So yeah, I'm going to read the lineup because I'll start off with that and then go on to the game because I think that'd be better. So as I said, Ramsdale's in goals, Cedric, Saliba, Gabriel, Kivior, the back. I thought personally, I was fine with that. I think Cedric, when was the last time he played for us? I generally do not remember. So I was so surprised. And obviously, Jorginho captained the side, which I think that's a good decision. I think you can see he's got experience. I feel like he's got potential to be a coach in the future too. So I didn't really have many complaints about that, if I'm being honest. Al Nani started, and yeah, we've not seen Al Nani for ages, so it felt kind of strange. It reminds me of the team we used to play years ago. Obviously Havertz, Trossard, Nketiah, and Nelson. So I think the team was okay. I think up front, really good. Nketiah got his first Champions League goal. I think it's really good to see him get on that score sheet. And he can score those type of goals. I don't know if it was because he wasn't under pressure. Like sometimes if he's on pressure, he doesn't perform as well as he usually does. But you know what? Give him credit. He did really good, and really happy he got on the score sheet. And Reece Nelson as well. I thought he did really well in that kind of build-up play and helping him. And I do kind of wonder why doesn't he get any game time at all? I can't understand why Arteta doesn't do that because if I'm being honest, there will be games where Saka is injured, Saka is leggy, and I think why not play Reece Nelson because like I've said before, you can see he has the passion, you can see that he wants to play and he's obviously signed a new deal. He's not signed it to stay on the bench. So really think it's important that he does obviously get more minutes and that will really help him with his confidence too. So yeah, I think there's really lots of positives to take. I was really enjoyed with Ramsdale. I think to be honest, Ramsdale does deserve to have a Champions League debut game. I think he should have had it a little while ago. But Arteta, thank you for giving that to him. I think it's exactly what he needs and deserves, to be honest. Yeah, same. I've always liked Cedric. I think he does make mistakes from the back, but we know he's not a number one choice. He's like our fourth choice, third choice. So just happy he got minutes today, and I thought he did really well going forward with our build-up play on the first goal. Kai's growing on me, but getting annoyed with his long read passing. He needs to make sure the pass gets where it's meant to be and not just fluff it in a general direction. Yeah, I think with Kai Havertz, I do think he's definitely come a long way. When he started playing for Arsenal, it didn't feel like the right signing at that time. He was really struggling with confidence, and at the moment, and like you said, Phil, he's definitely growing in confidence. He's getting much more better, and I'm just happy for him. Like you said, I think he won't always have the best games with his passing. He will probably make a few mistakes, but I just think it's really good to see him get on the score sheet. really helped the team with their winning, especially in the Premier League. I think this game today kind of didn't mean much to me because we're already qualified. Obviously, I was really excited to see the team play because, I was hoping for a bit more of, a bit more fluid football. But I know when I saw that lineup, you kind of know what to expect. You don't expect too much from that. But to me, it's always good to see Eddie score, to see positives from the game. And like we saw Smith Rowe as well came on. He's really been a great player for Arsenal, dealt with so many difficult injuries. And I just feel like for me, just hoping that he can be back, not get injured as much, because I don't want it to be a Jack Wilshere situation. I want him to stay fit because I know how much Smith Rowe loves Arsenal. I know what a great talent he is. So fingers crossed, Smith Rowe, you can keep fit. I did want to kind of talk to you guys about something. But basically, when Declan Rice came on, it did surprise me, I'm not gonna lie. I do think we should have rested a few players that are in kind of the first team. Declan Rice came on, I know Jesus came on, and I feel like if that went wrong, if Arteta risked an injury, that could really affect um the team and our season. So I feel like Arteta did take a bit of a risk doing that, and he could have played some young players. I think if I was him, I probably would have played more young players. I get that for them being there, watching the team play is just a great opportunity for them as players in the academy, and they're probably just grateful to do that. But for me, I probably would have given them a bit more of an opportunity, because if we lost today, it didn't mean much, did it really? We are through already. Yeah, maybe he was. You could say that. I do think he is stubborn. I've noticed this with Arteta. I feel like it's not a bad quality to have. By the way, yes, it is Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. I think he knows when he's made his mind up, you can't change it. He's very he's just very stubborn and strict in his own ways. So you can't really change that mind. Hey Bella again, I hope you're okay and keeping well. Second should have been a goal, thought so. Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't a goal, if I'm being honest. I was a bit surprised that it was offside. It didn't look offside to me. I don't really get why that happened personally. Would have been nice to obviously win. I know Arteta, like you said, Phil, probably wanted that result. So for me, I don't really get that at all, if I'm being honest. Would have been good to win, of course. But you know what? Seeing Ramsdale play, I've seen a few pictures online of him celebrating when Eddie scored his goal, and I've really missed that. It's tough. I'm very much in the middle. Yes, I have been a big fan of Ramsdale, but the truth is, I just want them both to do well, and to see Ramsdale happy makes me so happy. Okay, was he offside? And yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like I've said, it doesn't really mean too much to me. I think when the serious games start, when, the Premier League games, we've got to keep fighting for the league. That defeat against Villa obviously wasn't what we needed. And I think in the Champions League, I've said not to keep our eggs in one basket like last season. We do, and we should go for a few other competitions. I think maybe I'm being unrealistic. Maybe I'm being maybe I'm expecting too much, but I think for me, we do have Liverpool, I think, in the FA Cup, and it's not the easiest of games, but I really want us to go all out in the FA Cup. I've said, for a while, in the Champions League, if we got to the quarters or semi-finals, I think I would be happy with that, because it's our first season. Of course, I want to stay ambitious and win the competition, but I do know I've got to be realistic about that, because, this squad needs improving still. We do need to bring in players like a striker, midfielders. Obviously, Partey's out, Timber's out. We do have quite a few injuries there. Tomiyasu as well. Do really miss him. I think he's a big part to play in our style of play. So, yeah, I think it all depends on injuries with how our season goes. But yeah, I would love to see Ramsdale play more. There has been a big debate on who's the better goalkeeper, but I do feel like Arteta will keep Raya, because he just probably prefers Raya, and that's, Arteta's entitled to do what he wants. He's the manager, and that's probably his decision to do that. But yeah, I think today probably would have been good if we played a bit more fluid, but I thought PSV did show quite a lot of fight, and obviously for that goal they scored, I think we could have done a lot better. I think it was quite sloppy from us with the Cedric error there, and obviously Saliba did struggle to get to it. So I think to be honest, like I actually went out the room when it happened, but you know what? I think it's not the end of the world. You know, we're top of the table. That's really a positive thing to take from this competition so far. Question: any chance you think Ramsdale will play in the FA Cup games? I think because it's Liverpool and because it's a big game, I do see Raya playing, because I know it's only early on in the competition, but in my opinion, as defenders, as a team, you do need that goalkeeper at the back. You need the same one. You know, it's really difficult for players, I imagine, when you keep changing the team, you keep changing the goalkeeper situation. So I think for me, you know, if Arteta prefers Raya, I would say stick with Raya. But, you know, if Arteta plays Ramsdale, that would be a good thing. I think, obviously, it's at the Emirates and that's a good positive to take. But I do hope we do get to see more of Ramsdale. It'd be hard to know when, because, you know, we're playing Liverpool. It's a really big game now. So I just want to see him soon. I do miss him. I miss his passion. I think it's lovely to see. Yeah, I think the team might be better with Ramsdale at the back. It's really difficult to know. I think if Arteta's wanting to bring someone better than Ramsdale, then that's one thing. But I can't say I think is Raya a total upgrade on Ramsdale. I just don't know if I'm sure on that right now. But I think only time will tell, and I'm really looking forward to see how this season plans out. Really. Hi, Soph. Will you be doing a Champions League draw reaction show? Possibly. I'll try. I'm just nervous about who we might get. Do you know what? I don't know actually. I feel like I'm at the stage where I feel like this Arsenal team is good enough to beat anyone. So obviously really tough. I just don't want Bayern Munich. I'm sorry, if Harry Kane literally knocked us out, I would be devastated. But you know, Man United are playing Bayern, so I'm interested to see that game, to be fair. United aren't doing great at the moment. Phil, who would you want? Because I'm just not forced. I think, obviously, I want the team to go as far as they can in the competition, but I just don't want a hard team. I really wouldn't want Bayern, to be honest. But you know what? I just have this belief and faith in the team that we can really take on anyone. Probably not Bayern, but yeah, I just think as long as we can get far in the competition, like I said, quarterfinals, the semi-finals would be brilliant, because I think what do you think people's expectations are of Arsenal this season? Probably not to win it, because we're not there yet. We're going for the league again. Gabriel was offside, but he wasn't the one who scored. Yeah, I think I saw. I don't know if Kivior scored, so I don't know. Yeah, that did confuse me, to be honest. I know they checked that, but I didn't quite get it first. I didn't understand why that wasn't allowed. I was a bit confused, to be honest. Fingers crossed for a Kane hat-trick tonight. Oh my god. You know what? I do respect what Kane's doing in Bayern Munich. I think he's done the right thing for him and for his career, so it's going to be so funny just to see. I just love watching United fans have a meltdown and the club just having a meltdown in general, so I would love that to happen. Question: who was your man of the match? Lovely. So Ramsdale for me. Yeah, I'd probably agree. I thought there as well, Reece Nelson. I'd probably say them both. I think Reece did have a really good game. I think he's really trying to prove to Arteta why he should be starting, being given more opportunities. I think Ramsdale definitely made some really important saves. I think there was a save at maybe in the first 10 minutes of the game, where obviously Gabriel Saliba did do really good defensively, but I just felt like Ramsdale had some really good goalkeeping, did some really good saves. I know that he did make some good saves in the second half, and he stopped them from having a lot of chances. So yeah, I think Ramsdale didn't look shaky, to be honest, that I thought he would. In this last game against Brentford, he did look very shaky from the back, and I was worried in this game would that be the same, but no, he really did well today. Really delighted for Ramsdale. No, you are, Phil. We absolutely love Ramsdale. I think it was a really positive performance from him. Fingers crossed for United lost, I don't mind an own goal. I would love to know, guys, but I personally am not forced like who we get, because like I've said, I believe we can do what it takes. But who would you guys like in the Champions League draw next? I don't see United winning tonight, personally. I do love watching football around that time. It's a bit of a shame. Yeah, me too, Phil. I would really hate to be a footballer around Christmas time, because I absolutely love a roast dinner and a Christmas dinner, and you wouldn't be able to enjoy it properly if you knew you were playing the day after. And Christmas is about family. So yeah, I'm with you, Phil. I will take anyone as long as it's easy. Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like we can take anyone on, really. I'm not really anxious about that. I think we've really shown we deserve to be in the Champions League, and we've done really well. I think we've played some really beautiful football. So I feel like, I just feel like we could take on the world, really. But I thought our strongest team was the one against Villa. I know our performance wasn't great. I know we had tons of chances. But I feel like when that team is at their best, I feel like we've really got this. I know the midfield, if Partey was in there, we really are, a different team. But we played that team against Man City. I thought we were really good. So yeah, I feel really optimistic. Hey Jason, lovely to see you on here. Hope you're well. Some players may be happy to get away, family, and I would. Yeah, I suppose, I did want to have a little chat about Trossard, because I don't think he had the best game today. I know at the end he had a really big opportunity. I know this game wasn't important, because as fans we know, and the players know, we're already through. So it was quite a weird game going into. If you lose, it doesn't matter. But I know the players would have want to have done their best in the game. But as I said, Trossard didn't really do great, and I feel like he's not been great for a while. And I think, I don't think it's the end of the world. I know he will come back. I think for me, I do like Trossard when he plays, but I feel like when he comes off the bench, he does give us this big impact. But yeah, I just think when he's off the bench, he's a different animal. Like, he has this fight in him, this hunger. When we played Everton, it was a really tough game, always is against Everton. But he came on, he got us that winner, and he really helped us. And I feel like that's what we need him for. I just feel like he's, like Phil said here, he's best when he's off the bench, because he offers us the most in the team. When he plays, we don't have him to bring him on, and we need that. I feel like in a way he's like our Giroud. I remember a few seasons ago when Giroud would come off the bench, he would always create things, he'd always make things happen, and I feel like we do really miss him for that. Yeah, he wasn't, but I did read something online, and I kind of get it. Like, when Trossard is good, he's really good, but when he's bad, he's just not on that level. I just don't know why when he starts it doesn't work, because like I've said, like Phil said, when he's off the bench, that's when he's at his best. So I can't really figure out why he isn't at his best when he's playing, when he's starting, because people have said he does deserve to obviously get that chance to start in the game, but he just hasn't, been able to perform well enough. So yeah, really interesting, this point to make for people. I think I'd probably stick, and depending on injuries, I think I'd probably keep him off the bench, bring him on off the bench, because he makes that impact. But it is hard. We've got I think we've got Brighton at the weekend, and I do like to stick with the same team, because we're in the title race and we do have to win. Liverpool are currently a point ahead of us. Villa are a point behind us. So we don't really have that time to lose. I know Man City won against Luton, so they're sort of catching up with us. I would like to see Reece Nelson, depending on injuries. I just don't know if I'd play Reece or if I'd bring him on in the 70th minute, give him more game time, because I know he definitely deserves game time, in my opinion. I feel like he's really earned his right to do that. And obviously last season scoring that win against Bournemouth, that all gave us like something to smile about. So yeah, I feel like he knows what it's like to be a Gooner, and he really deserves the opportunity. And it will be interesting to see how many minutes Smith Rowe does get at the weekend, because as I mentioned before, he came on today and it's really good to see him back. Really missed him. I think he adds a lot to the team, and you know, when he was in his prime with the Aubameyang days, he really was a special talent, and we know Saka's really flourished at Arsenal. He's really developed as a player over the years. But yeah, just hope Smith Rowe can not have to face a lot of injuries, because he really is a superb player and I do really value him. The 2 games we've lost, we should have won, so very happy with where we are. Just need to be clinical for the goal. Yeah, I think that's our issue. I do worry, like, are we struggling under pressure? But I think that Luton game really did show me the mentality of the team, that we weren't going to give up right until the end. I think in the last few games, our performances haven't been, you know, a 10 out of 10. But I think you've just got to fight for them wins and somehow score those goals at the end. We do leave it to the last minute, and I'm just thinking, Arsenal, like, why do we have to leave it so late? It does frustrate me a lot, because I just wish we could, you know, make it easy for us. But yeah, I think as long as we're getting them wins, as long as we're up there contending for the league, I know we do play Liverpool before Christmas Eve, and for me that's the game I'm worried about, because if Tomiyasu was fit for that game, I would tell you I'd be a lot more confident. But I think we've got to win against Brighton, because that'll really help us for our confidence. I would take a draw at Anfield, because Anfield is such a difficult place to go. I know last season, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we might have won 2-2 there, or we got a draw there. I know we did beat them 3-2 at our place, but yeah, that game for me is the one I'm looking at, and I'm just so nervous about. Obviously, a win is what we need, and I do think the team are capable of that. But the thing is, I think if Arteta doesn't rally up the crowd, I think it's going to be interesting. I just don't want Arteta to do anything like silly, really. Not that what he did was bad, because it just shows you how much he loves this club. But yeah, I just feel like at the moment a win would be perfect for Arsenal. I do think fans were reactionary, because we've lost a game, we've won in a while. I know in a title race you can't really lose this many games. Well, we've only lost 2, I think. But you know, I feel like we do need to try and get as many points as we can. I'll probably stay on here for maybe 10 more minutes, depending on how it goes, but I'm trying to keep on track. If anyone knows the score, I'll actually check now, because I'd love to know. I'll probably stay on here for a little bit, because I do want to answer some of your questions and chat with you guys. But yeah, we can't go to Anfield with Cine, because he will leave huge gaps to Trent to get in. You know what? That is what I'm worried about, because I've said Zinchenko is an incredible player. He's really talented, and I cannot, you know, you can't deny how good he is going forward, but he does leave us with these gaps at the back, and that's my concern about it, really. And yeah, I don't feel confident when he's defending, if I'm being honest. And I wish I wouldn't feel that way, but it's the truth, you know. In our few games, I think it was Wolves, he kind of gave the ball away in the penalty area, and that's when they scored. And I think there's been a few more, you know, that Villa game, I feel like, I'm not saying it was all his fault. Could Raya get to it? I don't know if he could. But Zinchenko was just watching it happen. I'm just like, you've got to tackle, you've got to stop it, you've got to do more defensively. So, yeah, I've always had that worry, and Liverpool are on fire at the moment. Trent is having an incredible season, especially when he goes for them free kicks, so we've got to make sure not to give them away. But I'm sure the team know that it is a massive game, and we do have to be careful, not give the ball away, not to make silly errors, and to make sure we do have a really strong team. Obviously, Partey has been out for ages, and I would be open to selling him, because I'm just tired of him being injured. Can't agree with you anymore, Phil. I think the up and down is good. Last season we settled in too soon and got sloppy. Phil, you're trying to make me laugh, aren't you? Zinni is good as defending as I am at ballet. I do wish that he could improve that in this game, but the truth is we can't really replace him. I'm not saying he should be replaced at the moment, but with Tierney, on loan, I think Tierney's also faced a few injuries, and Tierney gets injured so much. But I just feel like, you know what? I saw a tweet from someone that I follow. I won't obviously say who it is, but someone said that he's a bit of a liability at the back, and I wouldn't argue that. I think he does make a lot of mistakes. I think, yeah, he's had a few good moments defensively where he can block the crosses, or he can, there was one, I can't remember what game it was. It could have been a Luton game where the ball was about to go in the net, and he kicked it out of the line and helped the goalkeeper. So he has showed good signs of defending, but I just feel like he could be our weakness at the back at Anfield, and with the crowd at Anfield, it's just such an incredible place there. So we really have to cut out those, defensively. But Saliba, Gabriel there. I think Raya will be there, and it'll be really interesting because, yes, Raya's probably played at Anfield with Brentford, not at Arsenal, but I think I just don't. First of all, going to Anfield, I never want to be humiliated. That's number one. I want us to stay in the game, and we've obviously have been humiliated, but I feel like in the last season or two, we've really shown that we are competing with Liverpool. We got so close to the league last season. We have never seen the best of Partey for long enough because of injuries, and we're going to move on and get a decent fit replacement. Yeah, I think that's it. I appreciate everything Partey has done for us, but the reality is he gets injured so much. I just don't get. I can't understand how he gets injured so much. I think it's quite ridiculous. Like you'll do really well for a few weeks, he's injured again. Literally, it's so repetitive. It's quite kind of a bit frustrating, but I know you can't help how you are. If you get injured a lot, that's just how it is. But I just don't want it to happen anymore. I'm just tired of it. But I would be open to selling Partey, if I'm being honest. I would miss him because we did have some good times with him, but ultimately he gets injured too much. But we do have quite a few injury-prone players because Zinchenko, for a starter, he gets injured a lot. Tomiyasu was the one that I just wish I could give him my legs if he needs them just to stay fit, because it's really frustrating. I'm not sure we would be. I don't think we would now, but there is that fear we have in the past. We stayed in the game at Anfield, and then Mane scored right before half time, and then we lost that 4-0. So you never know what will happen. I doubt we will. Like you said, this team has came a long way, but I just don't want to be humiliated. I hate it, especially to Liverpool as well. But Brighton this weekend's a big game for us, I would say. I think it's a must win. Brighton have done really well this season. Arsenal wouldn't be Arsenal without a few injuries. Exactly. It's a very Arsenal thing. But a few players are coming back now. Glad to miss Rose back. I think it's been really tough on him, and I hope he will be the same player as he once was. And he was really getting to good form. He was really nearly scoring goals, and injuries happen, unfortunately. But it is part of the game ultimately. But really happy to see him back. I did want to talk about Jorginho being the captain because I was talking to someone about this before. I think he is a good captain. I think he does have great qualities. He could be a coach soon. I do believe that. And he does really help the team. But I feel like for me, there are other players that I do see as captain material. For one, I definitely see Declan Rice as captain material. He's came in. His performances are probably an 8, 9 out of 10. They're almost perfect. I just feel like, personally for me, he's not on my top of the list. If Odegaard's not playing, he's not right up there. I'd probably go. Saka's young, but I do still see him as a captain because I feel like for me, to be a captain, you've got to really show that in your performances, and it depends on your personality as well and how much you can fight for the team. And what I really liked, as you mentioned about talking on Kai Havertz here, yeah, he's really settling in, but when he got that goal disallowed, you could really see how much it frustrated him, because he really wants to do well for Arsenal, and you could see how much passion he had, and I could see that from him. And I really do love Kai Havertz. I really am starting to feel this connection with him now, which, there has been a little doubt in my mind when he first came in the first few weeks. Is it going to be another Willian? Because I didn't really feel this connection with him. I couldn't feel it at the start, but now we're really starting to see it. His performances have been excellent. I think since he's been at Germany scoring, I feel like that's really gave him the confidence and the belief to keep his head up, to keep working hard. Because when you do work hard, results will pay off, and I feel like he's really seeing that now. You are so lucky to be so young. You don't remember the drubbings we took in the hands of Rooney and Drogba. No, listen, I'm glad I didn't. But I do wish I would have seen some Arsenal players in their prime, like Henry. Did think when we signed Jesus he could be like a Henry. And his finishing is like Henry, but I just want a consistent goal scorer that doesn't get injured. I do love Jesus though, but he just is very injury prone, unfortunately. So one of the first 11 tonight, who would you have made captain? Yeah, I think there's two players that I would give it to, and so say if Ramsdale was our starter keeper and he played, I would probably say him. I know goalies don't always be the captain. I know we have seen Mary Earps as the captain for England a few times. I know the captain are usually kind of midfield players, but I just really like Ramsdale. I feel like, his passion, I just think he's an all-round great player and a great person. And I just feel like he's got that in him to be a captain personally. I know it's a bit surprising because he's a goalkeeper, but I still think he could. But other than that, I would say Gabriel as well, because I feel like he's grown so much as a defender. He definitely doesn't get the credit he deserves. I feel like he's a lot better than people make out. People give Saliba that credit, which they should, because Saliba has shown he's a really great footballer. Defensively, he is a rock at that back with Gabriel, but I definitely think Gabriel has that experience. He's got that real passion, and he knows what it means to be an Arsenal fan. He's been here long enough to have this passion, commitment to the team, and I just feel like he's very level-headed. I know he can get a bit passionate. I wouldn't say he's very fiery. I know he kind of does question the referees. You do see him going up to referees a lot, but that definitely shows you that he cares about Arsenal. So I think, yeah, I'd probably say Gabriel Ramsdale. I know obviously there are experienced players in the side, Zalneni, Jorginho, but I'd probably say them two, really. I'm not sure Ramsdale be captain yet. We just need him concentrating and being the best we can. I think if he started every week, I would say him. But because he doesn't, I'm going to go Gabriel. Elneny was so promising. Hairline, Miss Body, green covering, guys. You know what? I love Elneny. You can't really fault him. You can see how much he cares about Arsenal, how much his club means to him. He's just happy to be here. He's just here for the good vibes. And to be honest, I can't argue that. If he wants to retire at Arsenal, then he's welcome to, because I think he's just a bundle of energy. He's just really positive. He loves Arsenal, and I don't have any complaints about that. I think he's got a great attitude. He's got the right attitude at the club. But I don't really necessarily see him as a captain. He has the experience, I suppose. But what I really find interesting with him is that he did score a really world-class goal against Barcelona when we were last in the Champions League. And to see where we are now with him, it's just so lovely to see that he's been on this journey with us over the past few years. It hasn't been easy, but he's really, came along with us, stuck with us. A lot of players have left us over the years. They've moved on, but he's stuck with us, and I'm happy he's here. It's really lovely to have him at Arsenal. I think he's amazing. Thierry Bergkamp, Mighty and Perez were amazing to watch, and I'm grateful to have seen him live so often. Yeah, that's my thing. If I wouldn't say this is a regret, because I can't change the fact that I didn't get to watch these players play for Arsenal. But I think for me, I really would have loved to have watched them play at Highbury, experience that, and obviously I didn't get to experience that because I'm just too young, Phil. But yeah, I think love to see Righty, Rocastle. I think Gilberto Silva, a lot of them. I think they were just great. But yeah, I've missed a lot of time being a young Arsenal fan. But I think growing up watching Sanchez, Ozil, they were just so good to watch. I do not have much complaints about them. I think defensively, if we had the partnerships we have now, we definitely would have won the league then. But yeah, I think it's good though to have watched those sort of players at our club. I think what interests me, I think it might have been Henri. When he first came, he didn't hit it off straight away. It took him time, and I think nowadays with players, people don't have the patience, because I suppose we have seen Henri become someone so special and incredible, or a legend of our club, and I feel like when I see certain players now, I believe they could live up to that expectation, but it's really hard. We've brought a lot of players in the past few years that we've really hoped would become legends. Like, let's use Aubameyang as a situation. Did really think he would be a legend of the club, and I think he wanted that. But unfortunately, he just didn't live up to the expectations of us. He just didn't do it. He is a great person. I see the good in people. I see the good times we had, but he just didn't live up to it, which is obviously, it is unfortunate. No Ozil talk. I think Ozil was really good in the years. So I watched Arsenal about 2014. I think he had some really incredible years. But as it went downhill, I did think he got a bit more sloppy. I don't like to use the word lazy when I talk about him, but I just feel like because he signed deal, he kind of lost maybe interest, but he still loves Arsenal. You cannot doubt that. Henri was a winger when he arrived before Wenger turned him into a legend down the middle. Yeah, I think that was a bold move from Wenger to turn him into that, because it could have not worked, and it could have, really gone. It could have gone really bad on Wenger, but for him to make that decision to change him that into a striker is really good. Yes, I do too. I think I've heard. I think it's still 0-0, isn't it? I'm gonna stay on here for about 5 more minutes. Because let me see what score it is now. Okay, it's been on half an hour. 0-0. Come on, Bayern Munich. I want you to humiliate United. I know it sounds bad, but I do have quite a few lovely friends online that are United fans, but we've been through a lot as Arsenal fans, and I want to see them decline. Really do. I can't believe I've been on for 40 minutes nearly. It goes so quick when you're having fun. I do enjoy these live streams. Let me check the Brighton game, what time that is on at the weekend. I think it's on Sunday at 2 p.m. Okay. Yes, I'll definitely do a video after that. I do love doing live streams, just talking about how I feel right after the game. I never used to do that though. I used to always come on after to kind of process my feelings, but I think it's just better to talk to you guys live, really. Yeah, we do love seeing United humiliated. Hey, lovely, hope you're okay. Emil lit up the place in his camo minutes. He's fair, was always on the front foot with his passing. Yeah, I think he did have a really sharp game. I think it's just great to see him come back, get stuck into things, and this, I'm sure he's really happy with this, to be back getting minutes again and being the player we know. He's just Phil, you're gonna miss Arsenal. I do hope you have a nice time though. I know sometimes you can't really change your plans for Arsenal, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Arsenal should win that game at the weekend. Fingers crossed. I'm just nervous about the Anfield game. I've said this before, but it's going to be tough. I know that. If we won there, my God, that'd be great. I think we do have to bounce back after that Villa defeat. I don't think we should have lost, but I ultimately don't feel like we took our chances, so it is our fault, really. But yeah, guys, if you guys have any few questions before I go, I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes. I want to see United get humiliated. Imagine if I leave the stream and United just win. I'll be devastated. Arsenal, with so many changes, I think we did great. Yeah, I think sometimes you do need to change. I think in the game today it was good to rest players. I know we did bring like the likes of Declan Rice on, but I just think you could have done with being rested, because if he, yeah, I just think if he got rested, then that would definitely, help us. But he's not injured. We've not had any injuries. We're all good. Oh God, why do I feel? I hate missing games. I once went to dinner with a new girlfriend and had the game on. That's definitely something I would do. I know. I went out when the Arsenal women were playing Chelsea, and I just had to watch it while I was walking. I just couldn't miss it. And the fact we beat them 4-1 makes it even more sweeter. So yeah, I'm like, I can't argue with that. I think that's funny. I'm a bit like that too. I think yes, you can watch highlights, but it's not exactly the same, is it? It's just different. So yeah, I don't blame you for that really. But yeah, really looking forward to the game at the weekend. Really happy. There's not much to say. I think this game we knew we're through. I just hope we can get an easy fixture. I think I think if we got Bayern Munich, I would be a little bit frustrated, because sometimes when we get draws, it's always difficult, never easy. We always get difficult, like teams like Liverpool in the FA Cup. I thought, what is the chances? I was expecting us to get Man City actually, so the fact we didn't surprise me. Yeah, we were speaking about this before actually, and it'd be interesting to see if he will get chances and go in the FA Cup, because I've said obviously not great to change around the keeper position too much. To kind of think it's good to give goalkeepers a rest, but I just think be interesting. Would love to see Ramsdale play in the FA Cup, because I think he deserves to play. He deserves these opportunities. But if Raya's our first choice goalkeeper, then I'd probably expect him to play. Bayern Munich over the years have honestly gave us a thrashing. It would be great to kind of give it back to them. And we are a much better side this season. The last few years, we don't really get thrashed or beaten in the way we used to when we were last in the Champions League. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a good run. I've said if we get to quarterfinals, the semi-finals, that would be really good, really positive, and a positive step in the right direction as a club. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here, guys. I've been on here for 40 minutes. You guys have listened to me for that long. I don't know how you do it, but I really appreciate you guys coming in. Check out the stream. Hopefully, United will get a thrashing. It would be lovely to see that. But to those that might be new to it, don't forget to smash that like button, do subscribe, and I will see you all at the weekend. I'll probably do a video after the Brighton game. I think I've got a video on Thursday coming out as well. So yeah, I will see you all very soon. I hope you do enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.